Alrighty, who is involved in a real estate syndication? So we've got the deal sponsors or the general partners, and then we've also got limited partners or passive investors as they're commonly called. Okay, and so today we're just going to talk a little bit about what do those terms mean and what are the different roles and responsibilities of each of those groups. So the deal sponsors are responsible for a lot of the heavy lifting in the deal. Okay, so they're the ones that are finding the deal and analyzing it. They're the ones that are developing the business plan. They're the ones that are putting it together and raising money from the passive investors. They're the ones that are ultimately in charge of managing the assets. So you might even have a property manager who's going to be doing the day-to-day of leasing up units and responding to tenant maintenance requests. There also needs to be somebody who's holding the property manager accountable and making sure that the investment group is hitting ultimately the target that they've set for themselves in the deal. So those are some of the responsibilities of the deal sponsors. Another responsibility is that it's their job to communicate effectively with the passive investors. And then on the other side, you've also got the passive investors or the equity partners. And I will say that I've invested passively in real estate syndications because frankly I think that a lot of them are really good deals, and I want to be able to grow my equity along with my investors as well. When you're a passive investor, one of your responsibilities is obviously you're going to be providing the equity so that way we can go out and purchase the property. And then secondly, you're also responsible for analyzing the deal and making sure that it is a good fit for you, because clearly you want to get involved with deals that you think make sense and align with your investment goals, right? And then you also want to make sure that you're investing with an experienced sponsorship group, because again, as we just talked about, they're ultimately going to be responsible for driving the results of the property and of the investment and making sure we hit our target returns. So that's a little bit about the deal sponsors and the limited partners and the passive investors. I hope that was helpful, and we'll go ahead and move on. Alrighty, so who can invest in a real estate syndication? Well, if you're watching this video, hopefully the answer is you. The first thing I'll say is that there's a couple of different kinds of real estate syndications. The two most common are a 506B as in boy syndication, and the second was a 506C as in cat syndication. So make sure if you're looking at investing in a real estate syndication that you ask the deal sponsors what type of syndication this is, okay? In a 506C syndication, you actually have to be an accredited investor to invest. And I've listed out the IRS definition of an accredited investor there. Keep in mind, I'm not a CPA and I'm not an attorney. So if you have questions about whether or not you qualify to meet the definition of an accredited investor, my recommendation would be that you talk to either your CPA or your attorney. If you are in a 506B syndication, or you're looking at a 506B syndication, you can actually invest whether you're accredited, or if you're not accredited, you could still invest if you meet the definition of a sophisticated investor. And a sophisticated investor generally means that you have a thorough understanding of the investment and you can make smart decisions for yourself to evaluate the risk and the benefit of the investment, okay? Another component of this is that in most cases, in order to invest in a real estate syndication, and especially a 506B syndication, you need to have a pre-existing relationship with one of the deal sponsors. And so a pre-existing relationship, what does that mean? Well, it's probably not that you just met them at a conference one time, you talked for 30 seconds, and you exchange business cards. You actually want to have talked to this person, you want to have a thorough understanding of them, their business plan, their track record in all of this. And hopefully, that goes back multiple months, so that way, if you were ever questioned on how do you know this person, you could point back to multiple different contact points. So that's a little bit about the difference between a sophisticated versus an accredited investor and who can invest in a real estate syndication. Hey, I hope this information was helpful to you. Thanks so much for watching. For more great content, please go to www.whitecoatholdings.com/learn. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.